Imagine it being 9:30 p.m. just a week after Mother's Day, and your phone rings. You're at work, your shift is about to end, and on the other part of the line, someone is panicking, letting you know, hey, your child has just been in an automobile accident. We're going to need you to come quickly to the hospital. We're going to need you to come quickly to the scene to identify this person. Imagine how my heart is gripped. Imagine everything that you've taught them begin to flash before you, the way they grew up, and just so many things. I don't wish this on no parent, but this is the story. Always pray for them. Always uphold them. Hey y'all. And always see the outcome. So I'm pretty sure you already done seen that intro. I just wanted to come on here and finish this video out and just talk to you all a little bit about what's going on. I have a faithful 56 people that watch us. A faithful 56 viewers. That's what my contents tell me when I go in and I check. And I just want to stop and then extend a thank you to you all, because to some people that's very little and insignificant, but to us it means a lot. I once heard from B Love's life. She would say that, you know, a lot of people would laugh and say, oh, you only got 20 people watching you, but would it feel the same if those 20 people were standing in the room listening to you talk about whatever you talk about, or do whatever you do, or watching you eat, or whatever our channel have consisted of in the last 6 years? But I just want to say thank you all, extending that from me and my family. And to go a little deeper, so just like it says in the beginning of the video, I got a phone call May 16th that our son had been in an automobile accident. Okay, to my surprise, you know, we're both at work, we're working parents, of course, since we closed the restaurant down. I'm thinking the bare minimum. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm thinking the bare minimum. I'm thinking that this is just gonna be a little fender bender. He's gonna bounce back, everything is gonna be okay. It's not gonna bother our home financially. It's not gonna do a lot of things. And when I speak on these things, I want to be very, very careful how I say it, because I'm not upset about anything. I was just getting a little worried at first, but God is not the author of confusion. He's not a God of worry. And if I say that's who I represent, that's how I gotta bring it. My human side did get to me, but nonetheless, I get to the hospital as quickly as I could. My husband works overnight. I usually get off around 9, 10 o'clock, get home to the children, make sure everything's good. And when I saw our son, I didn't recognize him right off. I'm like, no, this gotta be the wrong room. This can't be the right room. I'm in the wrong room. But lo and behold, it was our child. He was completely covered in blood and glass and debris, dirt, mud, like in his face. Because I didn't go to the scene first, I was called to the hospital first. I went to the scene afterwards. That's how I got the footage of his car being pulled out of that swamp-like hole, or, you know, slope. And right off, I do remember him hearing my voice and responding instantaneously, because I know on the scene when they found him, he was unresponsive. So that kind of, you know, spiked a little nerve in me after a while. But then once I started talking, immediately he recognized my voice and he knew who he was. He understood that he was at the hospital. He understood that he was in an automobile accident. He knew that I was his mom. He knew my name. He knew my voice. He knew everything. And as much as he tried to talk, he tried to talk as much as he could. I can remember in his mouth, by him going through the windshield, it was really bloody and stuff like that. That's why they thought he had lost teeth at first, but he didn't. He had an accident with his teeth when he was younger. But you know, I think blood like was in the inner lip, top and bottom, and so I guess it kind of hurt to talk after a while when he came to. But as much as he could talk, you know, he was a little shaky. I think that contributes from the air at the hospital and just being afraid. the more I talked, you know, the more he would try to talk about things, and but he couldn't remember. And I think, like I tell people, God completely wiped his memory of the actual scene of the accident. The only thing he remembered before he blanked out, and you know, when the guy hit him, is the guy, the kind of car. He didn't even know if the person was a man or a woman at the time, or black or white at the time. Not that that matters, but I'm just saying he didn't have details on the person who hit him except what they were driving. He can describe it to a T. He didn't even know at the time that the guy had actually made it an illegal U-turn. So for y'all who don't know, I'm talking about our son. Our oldest son was in a car accident, and I'm just finally able to share, so I'm just telling y'all. And so you know, I just, you know, I don't know what it feels like to lose a child. You know, I've birthed 7 children. I don't know what a miscarriage feel like. I don't know those things, and to actually feel this close to death, I gotta just say it was a hard place to be in, because as soon as I got the call, I just went straight into mama mode, prayer mode, you know, the best way to take care of him, survival mode, and yet still be there for everybody else too, mentally, physically, and so much more. And you know, to salvage my job, and you know, it's just things, you know, that you have to take care of, and you want them to stay afloat. And so with that being said, you know, the best thing to do in a situation like that is, if you start off trusting God in the beginning, you got to do it in the middle, and then you're going to have to do it in the end. It's a straight faith walk. What is this person doing with these kids out here walking around? They need to just make up their mind. Just park. But anyway, he is doing great right now. I'll try to insert a little bit. He's being able to be assisted a little bit more without the cane, or without the walker and the wheelchair and stuff like that. He's now able to walk to the restroom on his own without me or dad or anybody, or his second born. Our second born was helping him, lifting him and stuff, where I couldn't do it, or if dad was at work. You know, I'm grateful for his life. I'm grateful to see what a speedy recovery looks like when, oh my God, broken ribs, broken pelvic bone, and hip messed up. You know, he didn't have, thank you Lord, he didn't have any like internal bleeding in his head or his chest, lungs, anything like that. I'm thankful for that. And you know, nothing else that I can remember was messed up, except the extensive damage to his skin on his face. His face was very, very bloody, because he actually went through the windshield, was stuck for a moment, and he fell down into the passenger side. Because on that video you will see, I don't know if YouTube is gonna flag this, Lord, but I'll try to chop it up the best way I can. But you know, I, as a mom, I just thank God for a prayer life. You know, I don't get to pray and sit in prayer for hours every day. I'm not gonna even lie like that, because the way life's set up. Sometimes my best prayer is in the car. Sometimes my best prayer is in the shower. Sometimes my best prayer is walking out the door. Lately, the way our life is set up, sometimes, you know, my best prayer is when I go on a bathroom break at work. I don't know. But I just want to say, you know, to moms and fathers out there, you know, all like, you know, just always put one in for your family. Put one in for yourself. Put one in for your children. Whatever it is, you know, don't ever be afraid and think that God won't hear you or talk back with you, or whatever the case is. I just want to encourage moms out there to put a prayer in for your children, because God has promised us some things. And in that promise, you know what I'm saying, he wants to fulfill them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to step on any toes or anything like that. This is just my personal story for a child being able to see life after what could have been his death. I just have to keep it real. from what I seen and from what the doctor told me and asked me and said what could have, should have, would have, he's a walking miracle. So I just want to give God thanks. I just want to extend our thanks to you all. I'm going to stay off for a few more weeks just to assist and make sure the house and everything is okay. Make sure he's good. He should be going back to work in a few more weeks. We're not rushing it, you know. And I'm just thankful that I still have 7 children. And I am thankful to be planning things like this, such as physical therapy or surgery checkups or whatever the case is, versus a funeral. So on that note, family, no matter where you are in the world, you're somebody special. Y'all want to become part of the family, all you got to do is click the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. On that note, talk to y'all later, okay? All right, look out for the next vlogs that are coming.